On today's Minute of the Apes, we got 2 episodes to get through, so Todd can go do some voting.
You going voting?
I'm going voting today because they open up the polls for Sunday voting today.
I heard boating. I was like, what's boating?
Well, I might go boating after I go voting.
We're going to go boating in the motin after voting.
You're voting for boating.
Exercise with an ape maker, human down. It talks. Working with a divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want. War or peace.
They are the good humans and the dead humans.
And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then, oh, please, God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. That was Sean and Richard, and yes, I'm going to go early vote today because in Texas they are officially opening up Sunday voting today.
I've done mine. I did mine on Wednesday, I believe.
I did mine on Friday for Flex Friday.
Nice.
How long did each of you guys have to wait in line?
I had to do 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes. You went to Oklahoma Public Library, right, Sean?
Yeah, where'd you go?
Same, but I think it was probably about the same. There was probably like maybe 20-ish people ahead of us, and
So
we
was
just
it
kind of moved through.
Sorry, Todd. For me, it was out the front door, down Cedar Springs, down the Kroger side of the parking lot, but not to where you drove in. It was like halfway down the building. That's how long it was.
We were able to walk to the entrance there, but there was still probably socially distanced.
Wow, that took you 20 minutes to do that?
Yeah, I think so. It might have taken a little bit less, but every time the line never got smaller as we went through. It stayed about the same. This is 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. on Friday.
Yeah, I went like at 10:30 on a Wednesday, and like I said, it was wrapped around the building, but mine only took 20 minutes. So people were voting fast for me and slow for you.
So I'm kind of curious. Do you think that Governor Breck was voted in, or did he just seize control?
Was that an appointed position for all we know? The local governors will take care of everything for us, right, Todd?
Oh, very nice. So I know the only way that we can actually figure out the truth to this is maybe if we listen to Minute 80.
Maybe this is the beginning of Star Wars.
Maybe. Let's listen to Sean, tell us what's going on with Minute 80.
All right, we're going to start Minute 80 with gorillas restraining the governor and ends with the governor talking about the beast that must be whipped into submission.
All right, let's take a listen to Minute 80 of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Caesar, your servant, your creature, your animal. But I saw you die. The king is dead. Long live the king! Tell me, Breck, before you die, how do we differ from the dogs and cats you and your kind used to love? Why did you turn us from pets into slaves?
Because your kind were once our ancestors. Man was born of the ape. And there's still an ape curled up inside of every man. The beast that must be whipped into submission.
As of Minute 80, we got a courtyard with the gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, imported apes, Caesars. We got apes lost in the revolution. We got people burned on hockey tables. We got people being restrained.
We got Sean's
Sherman
phone buzzing.
William paint in the face, and still no Armando.
By the way, I'm going to start speaking throughout this whole episode
I'm
in that
being
very
called.
dramatic.
I will be right back.
Okay, in that very dramatic overtone of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. I'm going to do that throughout this thing. But this minute to me is the culmination of everything that's led to it right now. Do I think that it's a little on the nose? Yeah, but it's also possibly the most germane conversation that had to be had for this world to work, at least in what they're doing.
We talk about sometimes how much Breck is Dane is such a great scriptwriter. Fleshing out these scenes and the political context of everything. Man, the first part of this is just really by the numbers. It's not really anything spectacular for the re-encounter of Caesar and Breck. I mean, we for some reason we have to have the moment where Breck is surprised that Caesar is still alive. I'm not even sure that needs to be said. Didn't he see him on a monitor or something like that?
Yeah, hadn't you been talking about getting the talking ape and all that? Yeah.
Get a report from somebody or something. I don't know that he needs to reiterate that he saw him die.
And it feels very odd of how surprised he is. The surprise could be something like, I knew it. You could still be surprised, but it's just
of course you're still alive.
Caesar!
That actually would have been,
the last 20 years without us finding you. Of course you survived another 5 minutes.
That would have been a better piece of dialogue. I mean, Breck's got to think Breck has to wonder why.
Who's been helping you?
Why the apes are uprising. He's got to be wondering what now. What is it about this moment that made these apes go riot? And would it be his actions in killing Caesar? Right? Those kinds of things. So there's this train of thought that's just kind of lost. That they're now under attack, and Breck has no idea why this is happening at this moment. Is
Breck's speech that we see or that we hear in the film on point with what Dane wrote?
Line for line.
Okay.
This is now line for line what Dane has in the script. The Caesar, your servant, your creature, your animal. Breck's what Caesar says after that: the king is dead, long live the king. And then Breck's next speech is verbatim. There's not even like a word off.
Well, as we watch, go ahead, Sean.
There are a couple of things that I'm surprised didn't happen. That Breck didn't accuse McDonald of being a conspirator and always hating him and helping these apes and stuff like that. And why are you standing with them when you should be kneeling with me?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
That is true. When you just have the no go speech for McDonald, he all becomes a non-factor in the moment. And while I think that the idea of bringing up why did you turn us to slaves when you had dogs and cats you loved, I think that's a very interesting question to pose. But I even said to you guys in the prep, there are a couple of things that don't make sense to me, and I'm going to jump to this one first, that his response is because you're our ancestors. What? Why does that? I don't want to turn my ancestors into slaves. I don't quite understand that.
Yeah. We hate you because we see what we used to be.
Yeah.
And now we're better than that, so we hate you. I don't.
He strikes at something a little bit later in the second sentence when he says, "You're the beast in us that we have to whip into submission." Like there's something more powerful in that than referencing we were once your ancestors. Like I don't see why that's what we're afraid of the fact that we evolved from apes. I don't know. They're afraid of the control that apes could have because we were once them.
I also think, it's a little bit of projection. You're a savage. You assume everybody else has to be savage as well. I mean, he's a guy that just shot an ape in the face just because. Well,
and then that's the we don't get to the use of the word savage in this particular minute, I don't think, but that to me is more compelling. You're the savage. I'm the man. I'm intelligent.
And that's a direct correlation to the race things that they're seeing. I mean, how many times within, especially that era, were people of color referred to as savages? And I think that they're definitely tapping into that. It doesn't. It's not a complete thought. I think even Caesar's line preceding this, even where it's like, okay, what were they trying to say when it's the king is dead, long live the king? I guess that could work if he did it in a mocking tone.
Well, because think about Caesar is supposed to be kind of a royal name, so
I think
yeah. So the king is dead, long live the king.
Well, hang on. I just want to say this to it. I think it's the one time I question Roddy's delivery of something, because if he had done "The king is dead, long live," if he did something like that where you pushed it, I think the delivery of it is just bleh.
I wanted him to actually mock him. I said Caesar should have mocked him.
And I think that's what I was getting at too.
And I want him to go, don't you know you can't kill me? I'm immortal than you. I'm smarter than you. I'm going to live longer than you. I am the future. This is why this will be a planet of the apes. This is why we will rule.
The play on the proclamation, right? So it's a proclamation made for the ascension of a new monarch upon the death of the previous monarch. Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
Long live the king. Yeah.
It's attributed to the ascension of the throne in France from Charles VII, from Charles VI in 1422. That was its first known use, but it's still used widely today in other European countries when they talk about the ascension of a new monarch. Right?
Yeah, a ruler is dead. Long live the new ruler. Yeah.
So, but for him for Breck to say, "I'm surprised you're dead," and Caesar to say, "I'm dead. Long live me." Is he kind of
like making it a little bit of a Jesus thing?
I guess that's where he's trying to go with it. But
also,
that's
why
it's a weird play on royalty. If he's telling Breck he's about to die, that might be more.
Well, that's what I was about to say. He could be saying, "Here's a transfer of power. You were the king, Breck. The king is dead. I'm the new king. Long live the king. Guess what? This is actually what you feared. This is the beginning of the Planet of the Apes."
Guess what, bitch?
And
it's
that's
the Planet
exactly
of the
what I was
Apes.
getting. That's what I was getting to. Is I don't think his
you done played yourself, son.
His line reading of it's wrong. It's just everything about it. It's like I'm like, this doesn't. The way you're delivering this doesn't make any sense. And I knew that too. That this is a reference to a saying that's been used for eons. It doesn't work in this. It's like
it's a very amateurish use of this particular line. I also didn't really follow. Tell me, Brett, before you die, how do we differ from the dogs and cats that you and your kind used to love? Why did you turn us from pets into slaves? And I'm like, Caesar, are you saying that you wanted to always be pets? That was preferred? I didn't understand his logic in going from pets to slaves, because he's suggesting that they would have been happy remaining as pets as opposed to slaves.
I guess I kind of get where he's going with that, because we had the
pets are treated differently than slaves.
And
if we're making an analogy to society at the time, where we have African Americans who truly were enslaved just 100 years prior to this. Mm-hmm. Were they pets before? I'm not drawing. He's trying to connect.
Oh, no. I see what you're saying, but
and I don't disagree with that. I think the only thing that I was trying to say is at least the movie set up the idea with when we saw the dog and cat statue that when the pets died off, they had these.
The dog and then statue. There was no cat there. Fuck those cats.
Okay, and why did you escalate from replacing what you loved and turning us into slaves? I get what that logic is. I still don't think it's a very good, well-phrased question.
Yeah. Why did you shackle us? Why did you not invent other technology? Why were we the most convenient thing to do? Yeah. Because we hated you, because you reminded us of ourselves or something like that.
And instead of questioning Breck, I feel like Caesar should almost be the one that he's already questioned why that happened when he talked to Armando. I think he needs to be the one coming to a realization now and telling Breck, you had things you loved, and you put us in their place, and look what you've done to us. And he needs to be condemning what they did instead of questioning why they did it.
Yeah, you've taken the things I've loved from me, my father,
Right.
Lisa, but not that he's ever loved Lisa.
There is something. I like the idea of riffing on Armando being taken as his father. Mm-hmm. There's something that's supposed to be pretty. And granted, we're just dealing with the first of this. Their reintroduction of Caesar to Breck after Caesar's death. There is something in this first minute that is just lacking in the power of them meeting again. Yeah. We do get. I mean, Roddy's on point. Your servant, your creature, animal. Even his delivery is great. It's just lacking the poignancy of the words.
What they missed was previously there should have been a physical interaction between the two where Breck physically strikes him, cuts him, something like that, where at this point, or maybe in future minutes,